We got chicken,
Okay, pull yourself up. 6 hours.
What up?
All right.
We've also They're not drinking brothers, but reason why Filipino food, help yourself. You already said they got some here. My signs Literally, like that's weird. Somebody get they got each of 5. I don't know what out. So they give you 5. And 2 of those are like 165. Big ones up. Certain ones gotta do it with mine.
See, that's what a lot of people think. There's literally 2,000 insurance companies in property And then he went by such a huge way. That's what this
Getting ready now. I like the quality of your stuff.
Appreciate it.
I think I maybe have heard some.
So it's like
That's all
All right. Hey, so I got Tub here, and I think everybody can hear Tub. Tub, go ahead and talk. You're using my microphone right now. You don't have to like lean into me. Hey guys, which is really weird. So, but I think you can just talk normal. I can look over at the audio settings. So go ahead.
So so we're realizing now.
Yep.
We're
Perfect.
good. We're 12 minutes out.
Okay.
We're 12 minutes out of polls closing.
Okay.
All right. And what they were already just talking about is 25% of turnout.
25%. 25%, folks. And so I think we can take a look at that.
You got real stuff there.
I got it up, and I'll put it up on the screen here in just a moment here. Give me a second, folks. And we'll go like this. How about that?
There it is. Oh, all right.
All right, perfect. So we've got 25% turnout so far. That's 25% of all registered voters in Duval, correct?
Yeah, right. And then so now, but that's counting everything. That's counting. I believe that counts all early voting, all mail-in ballots, and everything.
Correct.
So now, is that graph still the one that's usually there, where that gold bar? I'm looking at it across here. And those are NPAs.
No. So on this particular
one,
one,
okay.
the very top blue bar that we're looking at is the. I'm going to read. That's by mail.
Oh, okay.
And then
do that. Okay.
the gold bar. Sorry, folks. I'm actually a few.
Yeah, we're a little
few-
further away. Yeah, we're kind of usually have it right there.
Right. So then the yellow or the gold is the early voting, and then the green is the election day
There you
voting.
go. And what's that number
Right.
sitting at? Is it 70?
In fact,
72?
you know what? Here, what we can do this. Bam, we can make it bigger so that we can read it from here.
72,000 today.
Right. So 72,000 people voted today. 57,000, almost 58,000 people voted in the early voting, which started this
The 7th.
7th. I was going to say 6th. So it went from the 7th to the 19th.
Right.
And then all the mail-in ballots are at 35,000. So we've got the unofficial voter turnout. Now, this is according to the supervisor of elections.
And let me tell you something. They've been on it all day.
Yep.
They keep sending us an email to get out the vote email,
Mhm.
and they constantly keep updating throughout the day about how many people started to come now. Here's how you reach out. So this is going to be pretty close to where we are. They've been keeping up pretty well. That's kind of shameful. Now here's the thing though. A lot of times, low voter turnout does well for NPAs. So we've had a number of NPAs. We were looking at that
Right.
earlier. There's
Right.
been a number of NPAs out there voting. That can help libertarians.
I did notice that the NPAs were kind of jumping up a little bit when I was doing some refreshes every couple of hours or
Right.
something like that. And I would notice that the NPAs jumped up. I think right about noon, we saw that the Democrats were in the lead in terms of turnout. But then the
It was
Republicans jumped up. And then, so if we go over to by party here, I think we can do it. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen, so hold on. Let me get to the right screen where I can actually make a change. That is just, so if we click on by party here, we can see that the Democratic Party is actually
They
trailing
fall behind now by 7,000.
significantly behind,
Okay.
actually. So we got Republicans at 76,000, and then the No Party was at like 10,000 earlier
Yeah.
today, and now it's at 17,000.
So, and the thing is, we actually were talking about this the other night about NPAs and where they tend to fall. Many times an NPA will fall into the category they came from. So if it's an NPA that used to be a Republican, they tend to kind of stay in a Republican camp most of the time. They kind of lean in those circles still.
Right.
So even if we look at that, we know naturally as libertarians, we have to still do this.
Right.
Like we don't have the luxury of just saying, hey, we have our group and we're going to win elections like
Right,
this.
right.
So technically what we end up having to do anyways, we have to pull from other places.
Right.
So this right here doesn't necessarily hurt us to see this. And like I said, in low voter turnout, there's a lot of things that we'll probably start looking at over the next couple of weeks.
Right.
Well, okay, I said that wrong. There's probably a lot of things over the next couple of weeks you'll start looking at.
Right.
And you'll start kind of deciphering through it a little bit and see where we're at.
Right.
And they will give us, SOE's pretty good here in town. They will overload us with information. You've probably been through their site before.
Yeah.
They're pretty good about breaking things down and stuff like that.
Right.
So when it comes to your side to do all the extra work, have at it, but they're going to
Right.
make it easier for you.
Luckily, I am a guru when it comes to Excel, so I can just take all that data and pull it in, crunch it up, and then tell you guys how you should have done better.
That's what we're going. And we're going to tell you guys how you guys suck.
Even if you win, well, you could have done
You
better.
could have done this better.
Right.
And so, like I said, so we're looking at this and we're seeing how things are going. And like I've told people, I don't know what to expect.
Right.
Now, Eric, of course, has made a good run over the past couple
yeah.
weeks because he's a one-on-one race.
I mean,
That's
he
huge.
even got a notable mention from a local.
I heard that.
From one of the local journalists.
Yep.
Who I don't know him personally. My understanding is that he's not always been so friendly to libertarians.
Okay.
I really can't speak to any of that, but let's just say that we know for sure, or at least I'm pretty confident that he's not a libertarian and he's not
No.
necessarily in our corner, right?
No.
But I don't know that he's like how much he's against us, if at all.
Right. I mean, technically, you would think as a reporter, it wouldn't be in anybody's corner. He would just kind of give what's going out there. But
Right.
there a lot of
Reporters are
opinion falls in.
totally
Yeah.
unbiased in this country.
Yeah. So when he said that, I'm like, that's a good solid run. Now, like I've been explaining to people, I said mine's gonna be a little bit different because there's 6 of us in my
Right.
race. We got 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, an NPA, and myself.
Right.
And so what happens with my race is that if you don't like one Republican, you can always just go to the other Republican.
Right.
So we kind of fight this out a little bit. But we start looking at this like for Eric and for Tracy,
Right.
this could work out fully into their direction.
Right.
And I know that we're coming up on that time. We're 6 minutes away from polls closing.
Right.
Now, I think they kind of give a little bit of freedom there because if you're in line,
Yeah.
you have to go through.
Right.
But here's the thing. So we were looking, the number's like 167 or 187 different polling stations in
Mhm.
Jacksonville.
Right.
It's huge. And so when you start factoring in very low voter turnout, in that number of polling places, there's probably not a whole bunch of people standing in line.
Yeah, I would think not. So I would imagine by 7:30 we're gonna have a
have
really
some pretty good
numbers.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, and we've been talking about we don't know. We figure you might know the answer to this. So ordinarily, like for state-run state offices or federal offices, they will tend to, right when polls close, they'll drop preliminary information. They'll drop the stats from early voting and stuff. Do we know if they're going to do that today?
To be honest, I'm not sure
Okay.
because this would be my first election that I've paid so close attention to because we had skin in the game.
We did.
You know, 3 skins.
We had 3 skins.
We
in
had
the
3
game.
skins in the game. And so now a lot of this information that once upon a time didn't really matter to me, it does matter now. Like I was looking at some of the information that the supervisor of elections either is going to be putting out or has already put out, right? Because you can see, like when you go to their website, folks, you can see that they've got like a layout of information. There's nothing in there. It's empty at the moment.
Yeah,
But
oh,
you
yeah.
can see what information will be coming. And I was like they've got a map and you can see the turnout by the
Oh,
map.
really?
Yeah. Let's see if we
Okay.
can. Like it's over on.
And that will be
Let's see
good
here.
because we tend to fall into these areas where we think, oh, I'm pretty solid in this part of town or that part of town. That will help show that. But
Right.
that won't show us anything now, correct? It's going to wait till everything starts closing out.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on here somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where at the moment, but there is a map I saw, and I was like, "Oh wow!" I was like,
Are we
"Okay,
on the
that's."
screen again? Or?
No, we're still on the
Okay.
screen. I'm just moving
and,
around.
And I agree with you that so many times we
Here it
don't
is.
pay so close attention to local.
It's on the
This time of year,
results.
We're all about. And
Yeah.
like I'm the dork who's been sitting over there now going, okay, well, release some information to
Right.
us. Like we should be getting there by now.
Yeah. So
All right,
there you
there's-
go.
Okay.
So and the folks that are watching, you're not gonna be able to see this. I'm busy messing around showing Tub here, but there's an actual map that when the results come in, we'll be able to look at the map and get an idea of the turnout.
By
And this
area,
turn-
is that broken
Yep.
up by polling station?
They'll have it by, let's see, precincts reporting, and then they're going to have voter turnout, and then contest results. So
Okay,
3
so
different maps.
that should start dropping pretty quickly.
Right.
Now, in all honesty, if we're going to look past our own 3 races and look at the city as a whole, as crazy as it sounds, we're kind of watching that mayor race.
Right.
Because depending on how crazy things go, it could be won outright by the Democrats.
Think so? You think it'll be
It's
that?
it's a long shot.
Okay.
If anybody could, because technically there's 2 Democrats running in that race, but the one is just kind of really for
Right.
show. And so you look at that, and if anything fell into a certain way, because remember, Duval keeps going back and forth. A lot of times we say Duval's pretty purple.
Right.
Like they'll go back and
Right.
forth at different times.
Well, we voted blue in the last presidential election. I mean, primarily.
Yeah.
We were heavy blue.
Yeah, and so that's what tends to happen. So depending on what happens here and how that low voter turnout and how that breaks down, now it might look pretty well because here's the thing: you're not going to get Republicans to go into the Democrat race
Right.
because they got plenty of options Republican-wise.
Right.
But the thing is, if they with the fact that that's got a chance to split in 6, 7, technically 7 different directions because
Right.
they have a write-in also. So technically that vote gets split.
Right.
So if you have 6 Republicans in and 1.5 Democrats,
Right.
and you do that. That can make things pretty
Right.
dangerous right there. And that's where sometimes that vote splitting. In fact, I put a post out earlier, guys, keep splitting tickets.
Right, yep, I
Because that's
saw
what
that.
we need. We need to split tickets.
Right.
And so it will be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. So even though we got our 3 races, we are kind of still watching the other ones.
Right. All right, folks, gave you a little bit of an idea of what the crowd is like here. We got a fairly good-sized crowd. I'm pretty happy with it. We're excited. We've got lots of food.
I
There's
think
drinks
also
here.
too, because polls are still. I know we've had people going around doing things,
Right.
checking on things. So I've actually been mentioning we probably don't even know how many people will be here until about 8:00 or so.
Right.
Because that's when everything starts kind of okay. Here's where we're at.
Yeah.
Now I might start crying by 8:00.
Well,
The tears might
it happens.
like,
It happens. We will try to capture that on film.
Oh, good. Yeah.
If
let's
he
have
does
that
cry,
for our posterity, so
um,
that future generations look at it and go,
right.
"This is what happens when a libertarian loses."
Right,
They
right.
cry.
Right. Well, what we want to do is we want to reinforce that crying is okay, but at the same time, do better so you don't have to cry.
So we want you to know
So
crying
it's all,
is okay.
I'm going to bring
But
everything
remember,
back
you
to do
didn't
better.
suck.
Do
You
better.
didn't suck. You wouldn't be doing this. So if
so-
you want to avoid crying, do some real work next
Right.
time. That's basically what you're saying.
So
All right. So what do we have waiting on?
we're just
1
kind of
minute.
we're 1 minute away from the polls closing. So folks, I'm going to put the camera back on the audience, and I'll be walking around. I'll actually have my mic on, and I will try not to hot mic anything inappropriate. But no
Shit, we'll tell you the
guarantees.
people to stay away from.
I know,
Don't
right?
go over there.
Right. So, but thanks for tuning in, everybody. and keep an eye out. We're gonna be putting out as much information as we can. And if you can make it out here, I mean, it's not even 7. We're going to be here for a couple of hours.
And
We got
drink
food,
tickets and everything.
Yep, we got drink tickets, and it looks like the bar is full over there. They got some door prizes. Okay, awesome. So that's good. So, all right, folks. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back here in a few minutes, and we'll just put this camera back on the crowd.
Okay. On the ground.
On the crowd.
Oh, okay.
Testing. Testing. Testing.
Neil, are you eating?
Maybe.
All right, so Steve will go on the live feed with you. As it concerns citizens. I'm stopping you for a reason. Here's what this is Dia. Okay, he's the podcast guy. He's actually he's got he's actually have this conversation real quick.
I kind of got an idea of like how it's I mean, let me get a beer. What's the SOE results? Not yet. Oh, we got some results in. All right. So tell we got some results coming in. So we got results coming in. Maybe not on the news. SOE website.
That's what I was trying to see right here.
All right. So let's go ahead and bring this over here. I'm going to share this tab instead because we got some results coming in here. And bring that up. So there we go. There we are. And let's go ahead and bring this up. So folks, I believe you guys should hear me. So this is what we have going on. And what we're looking at is Donna Deegan is currently in the lead with 44%, followed by Daniel Davis, or is all the ads that I keep seeing. Dirty Daniel Davis. I was trying to watch some woodworking videos today on YouTube while I was working, and all I kept seeing was this Daniel Davis ads. Like every other ad was so aggravating. So that's what we've got there. Going down, we got some property appraiser. Looks like Joyce Morgan right now is in the lead. Eric Parker at 38% to 61% for at large. So Eric's over there. Eric. All right. So this is what we got. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got Eric with 38%. Eric, you're at 38% currently to 61. And then let's see, at large 2, Joshua Hicks is in the lead with Ron Salem right behind. At large 5, which is Tub. Tub is at 1.19% with Chris Miller in the lead. And then Charles Garrison. Does that surprise you, though?
No, not. Oh, sorry. No, not really.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't mean I agree with it. Like, I don't agree with it because, in all honesty, even just the parties, like Chris Bill's not a very good candidate. At least staying in party. Reginald Blunt was pretty solid. Like, he's not bad.
Right.
Okay. So that's what we're right there. So that right there is kind of shaking National Park. How we think.
Gotcha.
How much of that is in there?
All right, so I'm being told we can
Barely hear you.
Yep. So I don't know what's going on with the audio here. It should be up and running. So let's see here. Is Tracy? We haven't got to Tracy yet. I'm being told they can get it heard. He was working with all. Was that what it was? So we'll go back and bounce around this way. Kick that up just a wee bit and see if that helps out. So we'll scroll down here to District 8, and it looks like Tracy's at 1.17 with Reggie Gaffney Jr., the Dem, in the lead over Tamika Gaines Holly.
But that would keep anybody from winning it outright also.
Right.
Yeah. Tracy got messed up with that redistricting.
Right.
Yeah, he really did. I expected something like that.
So that's District 2?
District 2 is...
Well, I'm not overly surprised by that, but like that's running pretty close.
Right.
Right. How much is in? What are the basic two?
Let's see what we got here. So, ballots counted, 93,000. So there's 93,000 that have been counted. 14% of the voter turnout. So that's the ones that are counted. I presume what they mean. Say results here.
Yeah, I think they said it was about 25%.
Yeah, because the unofficial right now is 167,000. So it looks like that they have counted what, roughly about half.
I think we should go back. I think we're showing you. I thought I said 14%.
Yeah, they said voter turnout 14.2%. So
that number there.
So I think they counted 93,000 ballots. The unofficial turnout is 167,000. So it looks like right. So that's where we are.
What if you refresh those results? Okay, come up with anything new?
And yeah, just keep.
Yeah, so 706.51 is the 0 of 186 precinct.
That could be early voting stuff. That's why what that is. That's your early voting. And then that's what those numbers are. And that's what I figured. Remember, we were asking. That's what they would do. That's probably exactly what it is. So none of that is actual today.
Yeah. All right. So here we are. You're right. So we put out the extra details here. Okay. We see that they've got 0 for election day. Early votes by mail. So now let's go down.
Yeah, scroll that back.
That makes sense why Donna Deegan's that much.
Yeah, because Democrats go out early.
All right.
Yeah.
So right now, Eric has 21,000 votes for early votes and 11,000 by mail.
Okay.
With his opponent at 32,000 and 19,000.
But they knocked out here in Sweden.
Totals, like are those counted officially? Those numbers aren't going to go up.
those numbers won't change.
It's unclear if they're going to go up. I don't know if they've counted all of them and put them all in just yet. I don't know if these are preliminary or if they're going to be changing any at all. We go down the line. Looks like Tub had 664 early votes, 413 by mail. I think one of the lessons for the Libertarian Party is going to be to try to find races where there aren't 2,000 people in the race. Because it just makes it so. Because Tracy's having a similar issue, right? If you look down here, you scroll down to Tracy, and there are 5 people in the race.
And Eric's benefiting from no Democrats because the Democrats are going to probably vote for him to not vote Republican.
Right.
I mean, that's how things tend to be.
But the thing is the downside to that is that the Dems are going to go up early. So, and today the Republicans took that lead and voted.
Well, I was one of today's votes, and I went to Eric.
Sometimes they sleep at night. Yeah.
So we got a comment here. I like this comment. From Hector Bruce, Eric Parker holding above 38% and scoring down to 80%. Ever in the state of Florida. Results indicate it's only a question of resources to reach out to candidates. I think these are the kind of numbers that we'll be able to look back and say, okay, based on the resources that we had and what we accomplished and the type of race that was being run. So, for instance, that large race where Tracy is running in district seat. So, there's some differences there. So, I think there's going to be a lot of information for us to really parse out and try to figure out so that we can strategize and move forward better.
And the thing is, I think it's good for us to focus on at-large races because as Libertarians, we get inside a single district that carries it across the city, we at least can start bringing them together a little bit. But the problem is we're still running through the issue like with mine is my 6-man heat. Right. And so we have to kind of keep an eye on that also.
And like I said, I think that really is unclear, that lack of Democrats. So, you look at different elections for Libertarians, like the 2020, like Senator Tom Cotton, no Democrat. So there was Libertarian. So that Libertarian did the best. Libertarians ever done in our country.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're always fighting for that position. We're always fighting. And so the thing is, that'll be good for Eric's numbers that he wants to know. So even if it does, even if it's the numbers.
Well, here's one thing about Hanscreen, because I get to a lot of those Republican and never met right? Like I've met
straight up fighting.
I see like Ron Salem just right. I mean, they don't like him, but he still shows up. So you're gonna have a lot of Republicans that don't like him.
So on my side, Reginald Norton shows he's there.
Oh, I've seen him everywhere.
Yep. But Chris Miller never did.
I saw him in the last one I went to.
Right. He went to the ones that I was going through and getting at from all along. He went to he's taking the Biden, the hide out, say nothing, and let my endorsements speak for me.
Yes. It's still live. I'm just trying to figure out what's with the audio. Having some challenges here, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so I think I can bring a unique perspective because of my inside the Republican.
And yeah, do you know Carter?
The guy wearing a white shirt?
Yeah.
I met him.
Full Republican. They both with the party specifically and the candidate specifically.
Yeah.
Can we, I'm not going to mess with your screen.
We just have a little bit of trouble with the audio.
Come on, Dave, 50. No way.
Sorry about that, folks. I don't know what's going on with the audio.
All right, how's the audio here, folks? Are you able to hear me a little bit better at this point? All right, so we've got some. All right, so we got some election day numbers coming in. We got some election numbers, actual election numbers coming in. So if we want to take a look at these. So here's the election day numbers. Looks like Donna Deegan is still in the lead, mayor. We don't have anybody running for that particular race, folks, but mayor is relatively important. So then we scroll down, and it looks like election day, a lot of people started turning out for Terrence Freeman so far, with 17,000 compared to 7,000. So a huge bump for Terrence Freeman there. Still holding at 36%, so that's pretty solid. Neck and neck on at large too. So wow, 49 to 50. So that's going to be interesting.
So that's less than a 4% right there.
Then we got 1.31% for the at-large group 5 for Tubb, and then somebody was asking who Jack Meeks is. He's just a local businessman, is he not?
CPA, yeah. He's actually the one they started questioning, like, hey, what's going to happen? He basically self-funding, dropped a big loan into his account.
Right.
From the he dropped in like $230,000.
Right.
And so because they were actually having that conversation, the one that last night.
Right.
And they were mentioning, and I'm like, oh no, that's all money that he threw in, and I guess he spent most all of it.
Wow. That's pretty wild. Okay, sorry folks about the audio with the loud room. Unfortunately, I don't have a good way of doing anything about it at the moment, so apologies. Yeah, so let's keep refreshing. Let's go back. So let's go down and see who else. We want to look at Tracy's race. Yeah. So let's check out District 8. So he is at 1 point. So he has got 0 votes in his precinct for Election Day. So maybe they haven't tallied them yet. I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't stay 0, because that would be extremely disappointing.
You know what it is? That's very telling of what happened with the redistricting.
Right.
Because that would not have been his.
You have over here thinking he can avoid you.
Right. How's it going? Good, sir. All right.
Did they update us in 706?
Yes, they updated at 721.
Okay.
So now we're looking at, let's show the detailed view here. And so it looks like Donna Deegan is still holding that strong lead there, 40%. Which kind of expected, because she's only one of 2 Democrats, and you've got 4 Republicans, or three Republicans.
Ferrara's catching up to Davis.
So let's see what we got down here.
Yeah, hopefully it's Ferrara, not Davis.
You see where Morgan's looking to win it straight out?
Okay. Okay, so Eric Parker just bumped up a little bit.
No, she ain't going to win it straight out. She just dipped below 50.
She did there. So she just at 50.
Eric Parker, he went up because he was at 7,000 for the election day votes. Now he's at 15. But he did drop down a percentage point, because he was at 36 a moment ago. Now he's at 35. So still neck and neck.
Salem went up.
Yeah, he did go up a little bit.
Very good.
Group 5, Tubb went up a little bit. He was at 1.1, I think, a moment ago. So yeah,
right.
So
Refresh again.
right, refresh. Just keep refreshing, right?
Ken's doing. I mean, Ken's
all right. So
Yeah, there was no doubt about
Ken
that.
won't kill him. He's on your side.
So
Supposedly.
and then let's
No.
District 2.
Mike Gay popping off. Mike Gay might win it outright.
Maybe.
He popping off. Neither am I. Yeah. I want Alden to pull the upset, but it's slowly going. All right, hold on, let's go.
Natalie's doing better than I thought she would.
Yeah, Natalie's doing really good. Carlucci doing good. I want Carlucci to win.
Yeah, I want Carlucci for that one too.
Boylan's doing good. Okay, I'm good with that.
I don't really know those guys, so
They were really happy about that one.
And for the folks that are listening in, hearing all this, I want this Republican to win. That is also a Republican.
That's not libertarian.
That's not the Libertarians talking. It's the Republicans talking. Just so we're all clear here. Going down, Tracy. Okay, they've removed all of them.
What happened there?
I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Sometimes
he went up.
Recount them.
Right.
Okay.
But he
counting about him.
But it looks like he went up because he was at, I think he was at 1.1. No,
He did go up.
1.1. So went up a fraction there.
Oh, that's Tracy.
Give it a refresh and detailed view.
Go back. All right, so it's not showing the numbers. Not sure. I guess they're just doing a recount or something like that. All right. And then so we'll go back to this screen of the audience here, folks. Let's see here. Looks like somebody spent $230K, only got about 5%. I believe that would be Jack Meeks that we're talking about, Libertarian JRT. So there's that. All right. So we will just continue waiting and watching to see how this turns out.
For us here.
So still the numbers from 721 36. There's no hot mic though.
Yeah, she's here.
You can hit the detail view if you want to break it out.
Okay. So he's at 35 now. And I'm way down there.
That's okay. It's early day.
Okay. That's probably why the news is waiting till 8.
Right. Just dump all the numbers. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Right.
You can tell. I did not. I will do that now. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I met them before, so what are these ones you're writing on? No, I'm never, I'm a throw away. I wrote on the
All right, folks. So I believe we have enough of the votes in that we can unfortunately call the City Council at Large Group 1 for Terrence Freeman, who has won 64% of the vote against Eric, who has currently 35%. Of course, in this particular race, there were only two people, and what we needed to see was 50% plus one. And it looks like that with the amount of votes yet to count, there simply wouldn't be enough for Eric to catch up and take the lead. So unfortunately, we have to call that in favor of Terrence Freeman. And it doesn't look so hot for the rest of our candidates either, with Tubb sitting at 1.4%. And there would be some kind of crazy miracle in order for them to win. So I just wanted to report that real quick.
The lids for the pot things, they're down here below. Okay. Because the big side is empty. Okay. So I'm just perfect. Okay. How much is smothered it, but I didn't put it all the way on top. So, but the other side's still on reserve. So. That chicken.
Yeah, right. All right, folks, we are going to interview all the candidates here in just a moment. So stay with us for a couple more minutes, and then we'll close this live stream out.
Which of these two coverages do you like better? This one or that one? Either or?
Numbers for who? Numbers for who?
Have they been updated again yet?
732, yes.
Okay.
So, Donna Deegan at 39%.
So she dropped down, which is good.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be Donna Deegan and Daniel Davis going to the general election.
Where's Alfaro? Alfaro is 8 down from Daniel Davis.
He's at 16%. Yeah, he's not going to.
But the good thing is Deegan dropped down too. So she's not going to win it outright.
And looking at this, I suspect that Daniel Davis will get the Republican votes. So therefore, he will likely.
Yeah. Oh, we got one for here.
Eric, we've got 64 and 35, so that's basically enough to call. That's enough to call it. I think the tributary already called it. So, and it makes sense because there's probably not enough votes to count to swing that wide of a gap. That's a 30-point gap. Well, that's not the right place. Please. All right. So we'll go down to the tab here. And then. All right, so I'm going to interview Eric here.
Yeah, hey, do what you got to do.
So let's see here. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all just talking to your mic?
No, sit down. Just sit down. We'll be there. And all right, so you hold this microphone here in one hand. We're holding some microphones. We're having a little bit of trouble with the mics here. I'm not sure what's going on. You don't have to put it right up to your mouth. But I think everything's going to pick it up well enough with these two mics. So, Eric, it looks like your opponent beat you out so far. We're looking at, let's go back to these very unfortunate numbers. So we're looking at 65% to 34%. So tell me your thoughts on getting 34% of the vote.
I feel like the numbers, is it final or all of the numbers in?
I don't think all the numbers are in just yet. Let's take a look. We see how many are reporting. So 180 out of 106 precincts are reporting. So 165,000 ballots are counted. Voter turnout 25%. So it looks like they've
Pretty close to
yeah, it looks like
over.
they've pretty much worked it
So
out.
I'm not going to make up any excuses. Look, we know we're running against the establishment. We know we're running as third-party candidates. We also now know that 52,000 voters in Jacksonville think that they are tired of the status quo. That now we have to build off of that number. And that means, in my opinion, we have to continue running candidates. Now, also, I was originally running in District 2, and I focused for 2.5 years on the north side of Jacksonville. I wasn't focused on the rest of Jacksonville, but I waited to the last minute and switched to at-large, and that was strategic so that the establishment politicians didn't run a Democrat against me, so that we could run me head up against one opponent, not two. So that instead of being the third party, I was hoping to be the first party. Now, that didn't work out this time, and I'm afraid moving forward, the establishment, the uniparty, duopoly, all those terms you hate for us to use, they're probably going to remember this moving forward. And moving forward, they're probably going to run a Democrat in a race. And I hope they don't get this idea from me. I'm pretty sure they've already thought of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
If they're getting strategy from the Libertarians,
exactly.
right? Like, I don't know what to say about that.
But I'm just
That would
saying,
be weird.
if you go look on the supervisor elections and the qualifying documents, they try, I don't know about they, but there was a Democrat candidate that couldn't get their paperwork in time because I waited until the day before qualifying to file my paperwork. And there's a Democrat's name on there that just didn't get the qualifying paperwork in time. So, yeah, I'm not disappointed. I don't know that any of us were expecting a blowout. I wanted 40-something%, and I guess that's where my disappointment's at. But this is politics, and this is reality.
Right.
And this is what we're trying to build here.
Right.
We're trying to build this here in Jacksonville to where we get libertarians and the anti-establishment. We're building coalitions. That's what I think is important. Let's look at the good. I know we don't want to pan through here and expose, but this isn't just libertarians hanging out in this room.
Right. Earlier, people may remember, if they were listening, that somebody was looking when we were looking at the numbers and they were cheering for certain Republicans. And that was one of our friends who is very much a Republican, but happens to be here supporting us. And so he, being a Republican, is, of course, with the exception of us, or at least some of us. Yeah, I don't know if he supported all of us in all of the races per se, but at least some of us he did. And then the rest of them, he's going to default back to his Republican face.
And for all we know, he didn't support any of us, but he knew there was going to be great Filipino food and beer here.
Right.
And he decided to show up. We don't know.
Right.
Right. They'll see this later. Right. Anyways, I'm kidding. But, like, that's what this is about is, look, we realize we're no fault of our own. We're a third party for a reason.
Right.
But I got over 33%. Now, I didn't have a third opponent, but I think my message was palatable for the people that voted for me or they wouldn't have voted for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we have to continue to build on that, and I think we're going to. Look, I'm not done here, and we're not done fighting for liberty. And I got this message for the establishment and my opponent. I would say you ran a valiant race, but to be honest, I only saw you out 3 times in the entire candidate process.
Right.
Granted, it was only 2 to 3 months
And
long.
I think that says something in terms of our strategy, right? Like, we need to get in front of more people sooner and let them know what we're about, what we would challenge, so that when we get to election time, it's not that heavy fight to say, hey, by the way, there is a third party, and oh, yeah, here's who we are and what we're about.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, that's not, at election time, when there's an election running, that's not necessarily the best time to necessarily have to communicate who you are and that you exist to everybody. Like, there will always be some people that don't know who you are. Right? Yeah. But so we need to get out in front of more faces sooner, so that when next time comes around, a lot of those people, when they see your name, they'll go, "Oh yeah, I remember Eric. I liked him."
Yeah.
Right. So you've already got to start.
They have to get used to the idea of seeing LPF on the ballot and not being like questioning, does that stand for Liberal Party of Florida, which We don't hate the term liberal because we're okay with the term classical liberal. That's what our founding fathers were, classical liberals. You know what I mean? But a lot of people aren't used to seeing LPF on the ballot. We, the Libertarian Party of Duval County, just gave all of Jacksonville 2 LPF candidates to see on the ballot, and if you lived in District 8, 3 LPF candidates to see on the ballot. And we challenged the status quo, and we fought back against the regime. And you could go back and look at other interviews or whatever, like, we let it be known we're here, and we're not going anywhere. So we're going to stay here. We're going to stay plugged in. We're going to keep working in our community. We're going to keep networking. We're going to keep building this thing. And thank you to the 50,000+ people that decided to cast a vote for me, and the belief in limited government, economic freedom, and individual liberty. That's the platform I was running on.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. We're going to get Tub up here next and have him kind of talk about his numbers and what his plans are. So it sounds like you're not going to be one of those libertarians who ran under the Libertarian name, and then now that you're done, you're going to move back onto the Republican Party. Looks like you're going to stick around.
Look, I'm not going to lie. There have been a lot of people at all of the polling stations I was at today trying to recruit me back to the Republican Party, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. I'm here to be a thorn in the side of the establishment, and I'm here to fight for liberty.
Right, because you know what? I'm wrong. The Republicans aren't really being a good thorn in their own side. So it looks like they need some libertarians.
Yeah, that's why this room's full of a lot of Republicans right now.
Right. So let's go get Tub and see if you can grab Tub real quick and send him on over. No, I'll take care of this. Hold on to it. So again, appreciate you folks listening in. We're going to get Tub over here, and then we're going to get Tracy, and then we'll close out for the evening. But again, if you're just catching on, if you're just jumping on, then unfortunately, none of our candidates have won. But we're not without hope here, because this is the first race in a very, very long time here in Duval County with Libertarians running, and I believe it is the first race ever for 3 Libertarians to run at the same time. So we're excited, and we're taking this as a huge learning opportunity, because what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this information that we get, we're going to tear it apart, and we're going to figure out how is it that we come back next time even stronger. And I don't mean a little bit stronger, I mean a lot stronger. So, still waiting on Tub. He's wrapping up the conversation. You know how them pastors can be. They get to talking, and boy, I tell you what, it's hard to get them to stop. So we're waiting on Tub here to wrap up his conversation over there. I may have to holler at him real quick. All right. I gave him the eye. I gave him the look. I was like, yo. And he looked over my way, and I was like, you. Yeah. Here, hold this. It looks like one of the mics is working properly. The other one is kind of sort of whatever. So we've got both of them set up. And so you know. Am I using it? Yeah, you just hold it. You don't have to put it up your mouth or anything. All right. So I just talked to Eric. Eric is unfortunately, hey Eric, let's just talk to him. And he's disappointed, but he's also happy at the same time. Yep. He's enjoying the solid turnout that he had. He did say that he was looking for 40%, and he missed that. I think he got 34%. Okay. Which 6 points? That's not so bad. That's not bad. Though again, I was just telling the audience here. I said, we here in Duval haven't run a Libertarian in I don't know how long. Ever? I know there's been some people that have run as Libertarians. Yeah, not as good as us. They weren't running locally that I know of. Okay. And so I don't know the last time that a local person has run as a Libertarian, and I don't think ever have we run 3. Oh, yeah. So that is entirely new, which, and what this tells us is that we really need to ramp up our resources, our game plan. We've got numbers now for a baseline. Yep. So tell me about your race and kind of what you're getting out of it now, because it's pretty well established that all of our candidates have not succeeded tonight. Right.
So, all right. So for me, like I said, I never, honestly, I'm looking at a 6-man race, realistically, like, okay, this is going to take a hit no matter what. Right. But I think that in all honesty, in some of the conversations I was actually just having was the things that we did learn in this. The things that we learned moving forward, that as we try to run candidates or do something again, the information that we walk away with is huge inside of this. see your polling mine keeps going up little tiny bit,
Right.
little tiny bit.
Right, there we go.
Nothing impressive at all.
Got it more bigger so that we can see it from a distance here. Because we're old.
Yes. All right. So, like I said, I'm looking at this, and it falls to typical libertarian numbers.
Right.
Like that's the reality of it. And the inside, like I said, I can sit here and make all the complaints. Well, look at this, but forget all that.
Right.
Because my whole thing is, okay, what do we learn? How do we move forward?
Right.
And I think, honestly, we start looking about what we do moving forward tomorrow.
Right.
I think, like, we start looking like we don't rest.
Right.
Don't rest on
I mean, it's
this.
like the presidential elections, right? President gets into office, signs a couple of
Executive orders.
and then he starts campaigning.
That's
Right? Like that's what it feels like.
Do you-
And I think that's kind of, we can't do any executive orders. I mean, I guess we can within the party. I don't know if that works.
I mean, I don't know what I was going to do, but
Yeah, we'll do it.
that's what Congress does. Congress will tell you they're constantly just running. This is every 2 years. To them, they're always
Right.
campaigning. They're always running for office. So I think that what we do, whatever decisions each three of us make moving forward, I still think that we go with this idea of keep moving forward. Because I think what we've accomplished here is bigger than maybe even the numbers are showing.
Right.
Honestly, I don't say it to justify our turnout and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm saying I think that what we've done is effectively spread the word of libertarians.
Right.
Actually, the conversation I was just having over there, 2 Republicans, like, you got to keep going.
Right.
And not even like, I don't even think they're talking about like keep running. I think they're just saying keep getting the word out there.
Yes.
Because here's what's happening. In all reality, if you look at our votes, okay, so I'm looking right there, and you know how many of those probably have nothing to do with libertarians?
Right.
They're out of party. And if we weren't out there hitting it, we probably not.
Yes. So let's give some actual numbers.
Okay.
Here. Okay. Because Sunday night, Eric messaged me and he said, will you go to the supervisor of elections, pull the data on who's already sent in votes?
Right.
And can you give us a list of libertarians who have not voted yet?
Okay.
Here in Duval, right? And I believe there were like 100 people that voted by mail, libertarians,
Okay.
registered libertarians, and like 80 who had voted early voting.
So
as
90.
of Sunday night. So
Okay.
you got
Less than
200
100.
So you got 200 people. No, 100 by mail,
Oh, 100,
and then
so-
80
so
by
180.
early voting.
Okay.
So you have almost 200 people, right?
Yep.
There are roughly 2,700 registered libertarians. But skip that number, right? Go back to the under 200. You got 1,170 votes
Today.
today, right? And you got 664 early votes, and then you got 413 votes.
You guys, okay, so I was going to do just as well.
Over 2,000 people voted for you, and like 90-some% of them were not
Not
registered
libertarian.
libertarian.
That's a good number to
Well,
watch.
I don't know if they're libertarian. They may be registered something
Well,
else.
I can tell you the people I knew personally who are going out and voting out of the party, they're not. They weren't libertarians. These are people who jumped out of the party.
And again, we're not making any. We're not going to make any excuses for them.
No.
But we do look at this and we say, all right, what does running in a race where you've got 5 or 6 people running, what does that tell you? Because that's what we use the next time around.
Right. Where did we run?
Where do we run? If we do run in a race like that, then we got to change up our game.
And here's
we
the
got to
thing.
do something
Like,
different.
I was one of the first to file in this race. Like, I was one of the first. Like, us libertarians, we got there pretty early
Right.
as far as this goes. But the thing is this, and once again, this is not like making excuses, right? But the reality of what we have to look at. So most of the time,